So you are interested to move to Florida, but you want to know what the pros and cons are to living here in Florida, and that's what this video is about. My name is Katrin Fitzenreiter. I'm a real estate agent here in Sarasota, Florida. I've actually moved down from New York City to Sarasota about 10 years ago. I think it's important that you understand both the pros and the cons to living here, because there is no such thing as a perfect place. If there is, you're gonna have to let me know where that is, because at the very least, I'd like to vacation there. So then, what are the pros and the cons to living in Florida? Number one, the beaches, of course. If you're interested in Florida, more likely than not, you like going to the beach. At the very least, you like seeing a nice beach. And we have beautiful beaches here in Florida. On the east side, we have the Miami beaches, Fort Lauderdale. On the west side, there's Clearwater, St. Petersburg, and where I live here in Sarasota, Florida, we have some of the nicest beaches, including Siesta Key Beach, which over the last few years has been named the #1 beach in the US. Can you believe it? Number two, year-round warm weather. In the summertime, it's about 90 to 95 degrees. In the wintertime, it typically is about 50 degrees in the lows. Sometimes it can get into the 40s. But the idea of having to shovel snow in Florida, no, that doesn't happen here. We just see it on TV and we like it. It's pretty for like a minute. Number three, you can do outdoor activities pretty much all year round, from golfing to playing tennis, kayaking, paddleboarding. Did I mention tennis? I mentioned tennis. You name it, you can do it, except for skiing. For that, you would have to go up north, okay? Number four, there's no state income tax here in Florida. So it would drive me crazy in New York City. I'd work so hard and then I get my paycheck and so much money went over to paying off state income tax. Well, you're not gonna have to worry about that. Here in Florida, you get to keep much more of your money here. You might ask yourself, well, how does the state make money? Through tourism. Number five, relatively speaking, Florida is an affordable place to live in. Certainly you would want to check and see how your cost of living changes from where you'd be moving to. I use a website called payscale.com to see how the cost of living changes if I were to move from New York City, so this is make believe, to Sarasota, Florida. And in my analysis, when I just did this the other day, the cost of living will go down by about, I think it was 70%. So use that website, payscale.com. There's others as well that you can use to see how things change for you. But relatively speaking, Florida is an affordable place to live in. Now, those were the pros. You're asking yourself, okay, well, give me the cons already. Well, here are the cons. Number one, one of the first things that irked me about living in Florida were the critters and all these animals that seem to be all around us here. From gators to snakes to roaches. The roaches come out in droves in the summertime, just so you're aware. Well, you're gonna have to get used to all these critters and animals. I'm used to it now, but the first time I saw a gator just lounging in my backyard, that was strange, right? Because I was only used to seeing gators in movies and, oh yeah, the zoo. Number two, the summers are really hot and really wet. When I say hot, I'm talking about 95 degrees with a high humidity, and it rains quite often, usually once a day for maybe an hour or so, and then it goes away, but it's very, very rainy here in the summertime. And some people, especially those that don't like the rain or that don't like the heat, 95 degrees may be too much for them to handle. So keep that in mind. Number three, way of life here tends to be much slower. I don't know if it has anything to do with the heat and the sun, but it is much slower. People are much more relaxed around here. If you're somebody who's fast-paced and you're always on the go and you like to feel the energy in a place that is just buzzing, then moving to Florida might become a culture shock for you. Four, Florida is very flat. You can see so far down the horizon here. We don't really have mountains, we don't have valleys. If you're somebody that lives in a mountain, or maybe you're really close by to one and you enjoy it, or perhaps you live in a valley, say you're from State College, Pennsylvania, which is in a valley and it's surrounded by mountains, you may not like living in a very flat area. Number five, so Florida is quite removed from the other states. Depending on where you live in Florida, it could take you about 6 to 7, 8, 9 hours to get to the next state. Look at this map over here, and let's just assume you live in Sarasota, where I live. It would take you about 5 hours to get out of the state. And for some of you, that may be an inconvenience and you may not like being so isolated from other states. Let me know how you like this video, drop me a line down below, and also please subscribe to this channel. It motivates me to get you more content out like this.